Oh, my God. What's that smell?
Hey there, Rob Dog.
Oh, God.
I'm the Momo. You looking for a good pickle tickling?
You literally smell like 2 turds humping inside of a sweat sock.
Oh, come on, Rob Dog. I was here earlier talking to your boy Nicolicious. He's so sweet and funny. He kept asking to see my butthole, and he just couldn't understand that the Momo doesn't have a butthole.
You do smell an awful lot like shit for someone who supposedly doesn't have a butthole.
Oh, Rob Dog, you're so funny. You think when you get home tonight, you can tell your kids the Momo, she just isn't that bad, and she's just looking for some friends?
Well, first off, you can stay away from me and my family, and where did you even come from?
I'm part of this crazy science experiment where they got an ostrich to make bang bang with a fleshlight that was a little bit fertile, and ta-da, here's Momo.
Okay, so you're like half fleshlight, half ostrich.
Ha! You got it, baby. Jesus. You're not gonna take me to dinner or anything first? You just gonna take your pants off like that?
See, despite what you may hear, Momo is actually very nice.
She's not that bad, Rob Dog.
She's a sweetheart. She stinks, though.
She was in here scooting around. I said, hey, what you doing? She said, I'm down here making snail trails. I said, let me see your butthole, Momo. She said, I ain't got no butthole. We sat here and we argued for half an hour about whether she has a butthole or not.
I know, it's just wild. I've just seen that thing scooting around here.
Welcome back to the Brohio podcast. As you can see from the sign, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm Dick, and this is Cobb.
It's Corn Cob Rob.
Better known as the Delicious Nicolicious. And I'm here with the Rob Diggity Dingle Dog, or
Dangling away.
Corn Cob Rob, whatever you want to call him.
Hey, I'll take whatever I can get.
We're having a good week here at the Brohio podcast. All kinds of fun stuff going on. The country is just, they're paralyzed by the fear of Momo, Rob Dog.
They are. It's pretty great.
How'd your kids react to it?
They didn't care.
They didn't fucking care at all.
Yeah, they'd seen Momo before, but none of them are scared of him.
I asked my kids about it, and they started screaming and crying. They literally cried, tears of genuine fear.
My brother showed Momo to his twins, his twin girls, and they're probably about 5. Yeah, they just turned 5, and they were like, "Can she come over and play?"
Oh no!
I was like, "That's great."
Oh yeah. So one thing I've been talking to Stacy about this week. It's like a Brohio spinoff show.
Okay.
Where we have a live call-in line where we get you and I and then a female, preferably her or your wife, someone with
preferably
inside to dicks and vaginas and buttholes and all that stuff.
Once again, we'll take what we can get, though.
And people just call in live with their sex questions, their relationship questions.
I think it'd be pretty fun.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to do it. Call it the Brohio butt cheek. I don't know.
In reality, it's just going to be us sitting here for hours, not getting a single call.
Caller number 1. We're ready for you. Caller number 1. Come on. No, caller number 1. And speaking of caller number 1, we'd like to say thank you to our new Patreon subscribers. Ooh. I apparently forgot about 50 of you last week, so we're going to catch that up real quick.
It happens.
And some good news. I've streamlined our sticker process for Patreon. So if you're missing Patreon stickers, I've got a label. I got a printer that works with labels. I've got 200 between review and Patreon stickers. I've got like 200 envelopes with professionally printed labels now.
Ready to go.
Just ready for the mail. Ready for the drop.
Good deal. Sounds great.
I did it in like 20 minutes.
Hey.
Computers are your friends.
They really are.
Yes. And first off, I would like to thank Scott Pennington. Mr. Pennington, I'm sure you have a huge cock. Thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Then on the other hand, we got Mr. Tyler Carter, who's probably got a little one. No, just mess around.
Show us, Tyler. Fuck it. Amanda Wainwright. Thank you, Amanda, so much for your Patreon pledge.
Amanda Lee Ruth Smith. Thank you very much. You have too many names.
No relation to David Lee Roth. Kristen McGuire.
Or Robert E. Lee.
Wasn't he the guy that shot Lincoln?
Yes.
Kind of.
He assassinated George Washington.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Kristen McGuire, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge, Kristen.
Next, we got Cody McKinney. Thank you very much.
And Lauren Cross. I think anyone with a law in front of their name, they're fans in my book.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah.
Then you got Nicole Reich.
I see what you did there.
You see that?
Oh, next we got Daniel Crook. Mr. Crook, thanks for not being a crook.
I'm gonna let you double up and take the next one.
Okay. All right. This next one comes from one of our most faithful listeners. He's on the Patreon. His name's Mr. Bill Wilkins. He said, my name's Bill Wilkins, and I died in my own shit. But the last thing I did before I died in my own shit, I gave them boys from Brohio $1.
Here's your fucking dollar.
Here's your dollar, you fat sons of bitches. Thank you, Mr. Wilkins, for your Patreon pledge.
It's about fucking time you contribute. We got Franco Paris.
Yes. And the one after I read is not supposed to be on here. I meant to cross that person off. Ashley Douglas. Miss Douglas, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
Wyatt Rucker, thank you very much.
That's the one that I was supposed to delete.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He just adjusted his. And I don't know how to change the stuff, so. But Wyatt Rucker, he has a Patreon episode coming up, and we're really excited to share that with him.
Cool.
Absolutely. Caitlin Fisher.
Ooh, that has a lot of anticipation.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Custard ass Clive. Thank you very much.
That's a real one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clive.
Corey Mock. Thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Katie Walter. Thank you.
Sarah Zeiniger. It only gets better because there's another Zeiniger here on the list, just a few more down.
And you are not saying the N-word.
No, I'm not. It's Zeiniger. Niger.
Okay, there you go. Mac.
Thanks, Mac.
Thanks, Mac.
Aaron Cornwell. Old corn tits. Thanks, Aaron.
Cornwell. Savannah Seymour.
And one of our, Jesus Christ, I'm afraid to say his name on the air. This guy, he's the one that does all the pictures of us on the Butt Chuggers Anonymous.
Oh, yeah,
where we're dressed up like homos at the barbecue and stuff. Nick Ferragino. Thank you, Mr. Nick Ferragino. We appreciate your Patreon pledge.
And last but not least, we have the other Zeiniger, Emma. Thank you very much.
The sisters. And if you're the Zeiniger twins and you've ever made a video together, send it to our Snapchat. Rob Dog monitors that thing. He can check that out and make sure that's professional quality. Make sure your shutter speed and your ISO is up to where it needs to be on the camera you're using.
It matters.
It does matter. That stuff matters. You know what else matters? These two on the bottom I forgot to say. Michaela.
Oh, yes, see him.
Michaela Sowa. Thank you, Michaela.
And Brandon Party.
Yes, I'm sure he gets that all the time.
I'm sure he does.
Brandon, he is here to fucking party, just like the bros of Brohio.
That's what we do.
We have lots of live shows coming up. If you just do a quick Google search of Brohio Eventbrite, you can see we're going to be with Mysterious Circumstances in Indianapolis, Hillbilly Horror Stories. We're going to be with Hillbilly Horror Stories in Louisville, Kentucky. That's going to be a big one. We got the Bishop James Long. He's going to be there. He's done exorcisms. He's done it all. And we're also going to be there with We Drink and We Know. And then we're going to be in the Mothman territory.
Yeah, buddy.
Shortly. I think that's going to be in October.
Sounds about right.
But those tickets are all up for sale now. They're cheap. They're running out.
Come out and be disappointed.
Be very disappointed. You think we look fat on YouTube?
Oh,
you should see us in person.
Yeah, we're pretty robust.
You can literally smell the blue cheese on us whenever you meet us in person. And I do have an article for you this week, Rob Dog, and it's pertaining to shit. As we go back to our dirty roots.
Lay it on me, daddy.
Get the pun there, dirty roots?
Yep.
A local truck driver didn't just lash out when he was asked to get off a private parking lot this morning. He found a disgusting way to retaliate. Stylist Penny Roberts works at La Belle Salon and Boutique in Odessa. Bunch of fucking hillbillies in Odessa. Early Wednesday, she found an 18-wheeler camped out in their parking lot. She asked the driver to leave. He did, but he also left behind a surprise. Quote, "So I walked over to pick up the bag to go throw the trash away and realized what was in the bags," Roberts said. There was poop in the bags.
Oh, man, we got to play the song right now.
I put the poop in the bag. I put the poop in the bag. I like to dress up and drag. I like to dress up and drag.
We got the chorus done for that song.
It's choked. I don't remember the lyrics, dude. 4 of them scattered all over the parking lot. Stinky piles left to antagonize the business who made him find another place to park. We talked to the guy and told him we didn't ever want him to do this again. Our parking lot wasn't designed for 18-wheelers. In return, he retaliated, and this is probably the lowest I've ever seen, Robert said. It seems this trucker has a crappy obsession.
I see what they did.
I'd say so. Sean Brown's family owns this shopping center and says he asked the trucker not to park in their lot either. I gave him a kind of 24-hour notice handwritten to move, and he took it and wiped his rear with it and tore it up and threw it in the wind.
If you don't throw it in the wind.
You know what you can do with this goddamn parking ticket? You can pick pieces of it out of my ass after I wipe my asshole with it. Robert said since the story first aired, the people who own the truck have personally apologized, fired the driver, and say they're going to clean up the parking lot, install no 18-wheeler parking signs. She was very remorseful, and it took a lot of guts for her to come back out and find our place of employment and make it right. I get back out.
Oh, man.
So let me ask you this, Rob Dog.
All right.
Have you ever been so fucking disgruntled that you took a shit in a parking lot before?
No, not in a parking lot.
You know, my dad owns a car lot in kind of a sketchy part of the United States here in Ohio.
Yeah.
He's got a former coworker that's always putting up surveillance footage. He drives trucks now. He did work for my dad, but he's always posting videos, and he's got like a truck yard. And at least one time per night, a bum walks by and braces their back up against the tire and shits all over the inside of the tire. It's like the wheel well there, just all over the inside of the tire, the wheel.
It's like a depressing game of magical chairs.
Oh my God, dude. If there's anything worse than hobo shit.
Oh, I should know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still have that turd stuck to my boot.
That's from one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah, it is.
So we're 11 minutes and 30 seconds in. That's not too bad for us.
No.
If you've made it this far, we are marching towards 2,000 iTunes reviews. If you'd like to help us out, go to iTunes, leave a review, say, I came for the butt chugging and stayed for the party. If you do that, next week, we'll give you a shout out at the beginning of the show. How's that sound, Rob Dog?
That sounds great.
You got to say, I came for the butt chugging and stayed for the party. We'll shout your username out, whatever. Or put your name at the end. We'll use your real fucking name. Use your mom's name. So
now we'll shout out your mom.
Yeah. So
we probably already have.
I'll shoot it up in your mom. I already did that too.
Been there.
Now this episode is a whirlwind conspiracy alien.
Woo.
Madness, chaos.
We're trying to get all the big alien ones out of the way.
This one's heavy, man. Not a lot of people have done this one. It's been done a little bit, but this is not a very well-known topic at all.
My ass is hurting.
So's my back's hurting, dude.
So's mine.
I'm a fat pile of shit. This week we were walking around the grocery store. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of being tired. My ankles hurt. My legs hurt. Just hurt, man.
After your 30s, man, it's fucking downhill.
I don't even know what it is.
I'm just a piece of shit.
I just think it's my cholesterol.
Maybe.
Oh, so our story starts around 1979, but there were some things that kind of helped all this fall into place before 1979, if you know what I mean. One of the most conspiracies surrounding presidencies is that of Mr. Harry S. Truman or Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah, buddy.
Both of those guys allegedly made contact with Nazi aliens, all kinds of shit like that, and there's essentially what some are calling a treaty that was signed in 1947 by Harry Truman that set in motion a plan where the elite obtained alien technological secrets in exchange for permitting the aliens to abduct human subjects for their diabolical research. In time, the elite would be allowed to survive to become the overlords of the human sheep under ultimate control of the aliens, like the dogs that watch the sheep on a human farm.
And to be totally perfectly honest, if I was Harry Truman, I would have done the same fucking thing.
Well, and I'm reading about this stuff. I'm like, man, this starts off kind of boring. Because anytime you start getting diabolical research and human experiment, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah. Boring. I don't want to do this to them. But then you read a little deeper, and it says that the aliens potentially hashed this thing out with Harry S. Truman and Dwight D. Eisenhower. And the understanding was, the alien said, you let us experiment on just a few people here and there. Let us grab a couple numbnuts let us get a dick and a cob every once in a while.
Just grab a couple bros out in the woods camping.
Yeah, we're going to fuck them.
Right in their ass.
Yeah, real hard. Yeah, that was one of our reviews this week. It said, really like the podcast. Wish they'd talk a lot less about buttholes and boners. 3 stars. Oh, God, I like it. I'll take a butthole and a boner anytime.
I respect that.
I respect that as well. Now, with the treaty, the pact, I should say, the aliens said, just give us a few of them. Only a few. We don't want all of them. We don't want to take over the entire human race. You guys are all too fucking retarded. In return, in exchange, we'll give you some secret technological advances that you can use as far as, I don't know, making an atomic bomb, making whatever kind of stuff, alien technology that the people from the United States would be interested in. There's all kinds of stuff that we can get from the aliens. But they said, you give us a few people and some cows. We also want some cows as well.
Why not?
We love free range Angus beef, ribeye, seared on both sides in a cast iron skillet. Pull it off, let it rest, put some butter on it to let it melt on top of the steak. Medium rare, about 160. That's what the aliens want.
Just thinking about them wanting like to put butter on a cow when you gotta use the milk to make butter. It's like you're squeezing its titties to get milk to make butter from it, and it's like the circle of life, man.
And I wonder if there's people out there that drink milk from udders besides human breast and stuff like that. If it's kosher to just get up underneath of a Jersey cow and suck on them nipples,
Tom Green did it.
There's something wrong with that fucking guy. If you've ever drank milk straight from a cow's udder before, write us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how it tastes, how fresh it is.
Good old scabby, bloody fucking udder milk.
Scabby, bloody. That's disgusting. I don't like that at all.
I mean, you gotta think, I'm sure those things get chapped.
Especially when you got some fat guy sucking on them all the time.
Exactly.
Oh, calm down, Bessie. Calm down, girl. I ain't gonna hurt you. Just kind of suck on these titties for just a minute. I've always wondered what milk straight from the cow's udder take. Like, suck it out of the udder and then put it in the fridge for about 3 hours and let it get nice and chilled and drink it like that without the pasteurization and stuff. I really want to try that.
When you suck it out of the udder, you just spit it in the freezer? Is that what you do?
Eat it with a popsicle. Cools it down.
Put it in a popsicle tray.
Oh, but and back to the agreement here. So they wanted the cows, they wanted the people, but then as this treaty and this pact advanced, okay, it got to the point where the aliens were kind of doing whatever they wanted to do. They were
naturally.
You give them a mile and they
fuck you in the ass.
Give them an inch and they take a mile. That's what they say. Exactly.
They're probing everyone.
Harry S. Truman's like, oh my God, there was nothing in the literature about them taking our people and probing them in the asshole, and that's all they've done.
I've never seen so many hollowed out assholes.
I went to get my wife in the Oval Office, and her butthole looked like a giant manwich sandwich. So I put my Harry Truman inside of her. You think he referred to his dick as Harry?
I would assume back in those days.
If you're someone that doesn't shave your privates, please write us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know why you don't shave your privates and what your balls smell like after a sweaty day of working out.
Oh, God. It's like a kindling fire.
Well, there's people out there that just don't shave, man. Trim it back, keep the brush back a little bit.
Just get rid of it.
You got guys like me that just can't see. I don't know what it looks like. I think I'm shaving. I feel hair coming off, but I can't see. I got to shave over top of a mirror in order to see my wiener. You
got to stand over it.
Yeah. Oh, man. So from 1975 to 1979, the town of Dulce was hit with several cattle mutilations.
I like to say Dolce.
Dolce and Gabbana.
Exactly.
No say no Nirvana. Karen, they be sharing all that music. No drama. No. Are you a fan of Fergie?
Oh, yeah.
I love Fergie.
Yeah, definitely.
So this takes us to Dulce, New Mexico. Have you ever been to New Mexico before?
No.
I went to McDonald's there one time. It's like a bad fucking science experiment. Everyone's got, they all look like Indians for one.
I've never been out west.
Not at all?
I've been all over the East Coast, but yeah, I've never been west. Never been on the other side of the Mississippi.
Everything was pretty cool until I got to New Mexico.
Yeah.
And then you walk into the McDonald's and they're like, welcome to McDonald's. They get fucking stuck. You got to slap them on the back of the head.
And then they reset.
Yeah. What? Because you got Area 51 out there.
Right.
Or Groom Lake, whatever. Then you got this Dulce shit. That whole entire, there's a line, they say. It's called the 37th or 39th parallel. It goes from somewhere between North Carolina and Virginia. It's a straight line that goes all the way to the West Coast. And there's so many in the straight line. There's so many weird things. There's like the Mammoth Cave and then the Dulce place.
I mean, they got to have aliens out there because, I mean, there's nothing else fun to do.
No.
Fucking tumbleweeds gets old after a while.
Fuck each other.
Exactly.
That's like when you have nothing left, you just reach over and tell your sister, you grab her by the hand and you say, there's nothing to do right now. And she says, let's just fuck each other.
Is that how that works?
You do it.
Man.
I've heard they don't even have Pornhub out there.
R.I.P.
I don't even use Pornhub.
You're really trying to deter me from going there, aren't you?
Yeah, I go to Nintendo.com. That's where I do most of my masturbating. Oh, man. So the people there in Dulce, New Mexico, there was many sightings of black helicopters unmarked flying overhead.
It's racist.
There's constant, it's very racist. Oftentimes these helicopters flew in complete silence.
Okay.
That's a little bit weird for me.
That is weird.
So you look up because you don't hear a sound. And you're like, hey, look at that. Hey, look at the helicopter. And then just nothing. Just like that. It's flying over you. It's not making any noises.
That'd be real weird.
It'd be really weird. Jesus, Rob, give me something over there.
I'm sitting here picturing it. I'm like, yeah, I think I'd be shitting my pants.
We're watching a silent helicopter right now.
I think I was literally looking up whenever you're saying that.
And I'll get to it in a little bit, but the FBI did acknowledge the fact that there were several UFOs out there. Not necessarily UFOs per se,
yeah.
but lots of flying.
The meaning of the word unidentified flying
There's
object.
shit out there flying around. We don't know what it is.
Not saucers, but
there were strange lights that were found around the Archuleta Mesa Mountains. And that's going to be the same spot where we're going to talk about our underground base, the Dulce base, aka Nightmare Hall. That's part of this base. One thing we were getting into is a lot of cattle mutilations. Cows were found with organs removed and blood drained from their corpses. The incisions looked as if they were works from lasers. Fucking lasers, Rob. They go cutting on the cows with lasers. That's how you know that they mean business.
That's pretty sweet.
Now, this is taken, there's a specific page on the FBI website. They have these things called mystery files, and they kind of hide them in the back of the FBI website. It's public record, but it's essentially stuff they say, we've got no fucking idea what this is. Let's hide it back here, and hopefully no one reads it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. And this is, they've got it titled Animal Mutilations. This is animal/cattle mutilations in the mid-1970s. Reports of scattered animal mutilations in Western and Midwestern states concerned many people. The FBI was asked to investigate, but was unable to do so because of a lack of jurisdiction, except when such mutilations were found on Indian lands. These files consist mainly of press clippings and correspondence concerning the issues between 74 and 1978. The top leading investigator for these mutilations was a state patrol officer from New Mexico by the name of Gabe Valdez. Beautiful name.
It is.
And Gabe just seems like one of those names. He's either there to fight or fuck. Either way, you know something's happening to your asshole. Now, this is a quote by the FBI in reference to this investigation. Information furnished to this office by Officer Valdez indicates that the animals are being shot with some type of paralyzing drug, and the blood is being drawn from the animal after an injection of anticoagulant.
Nice. Okay.
I think I nailed that.
You did.
It appears that in some instances, the cattle's legs have been broken, and helicopters without any identifying numbers have reportedly been seen in the vicinity of these mutilations. And I can understand the broken legs because it's a lot easier to fuck a cow when it has broken legs. Also, quote, Officer Valdez theorizes that clamps are being placed on the cow's legs and they are being lifted by helicopter to some remote area where the mutilations are taking place, and then the animal is returned to its original pasture. The mutilations primarily consist of removal of the tongue, the lymph gland, lower lip, and the sexual organs of the animal.
Bruh, can you imagine walking around a fucking pasture and seeing a cow without a lower lip?
Oh, you look real nice. I was going to say you look real nice with your lip missing, but they took your vagina too, so I'm not too interested anymore. Says much mystery has surrounded these mutilations, but according to witnesses, they give the appearance of being very professionally done with a surgical instrument. And according to Valdez, as the years progress, each surgical procedure appears to be more professional. Officer Valdez has advised that in no instance to his knowledge Are these carcasses ever attacked by predator or scavenger animals, although there are tracks which would indicate that coyotes have been circling the carcass from a distance?
And them coyotes are getting crafty with the anticoagulant and fucking needles and shit.
Hey, get over here. We got something we can really fuck this cow up with. I think we can do it. I think we can knock it out. I think we can make it look like fucking aliens, so they're not going to blame it on us coyotes anymore.
It's like the fucking hyenas in Lion King. Ed.
Special Agent Putman, then informed the director of the outcome of Valdez's run-ins with officials. He also advised that he has requested Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory to conduct investigation for him, but until just recently has always been advised that the mutilations were done by predatory animals. Officer Valdez stated that just recently he had been told by two assistants at Los Alamos Scientific Lab that they were able to determine the type of tranquilizer and blood anticoagulant that had been utilized. At this time, there are around 30 reported cattle mutilations. Now, part of this investigation, there's another guy we're gonna talk about in just a little bit. Paul Bennewitz, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
He's a scientist, an electrical scientist that was tied up severely. He was dealing with a lot of these. He's seeing these aircrafts going in and out of this Dulce base. Okay, he's seen all kinds of unidentified flying objects, stuff flying through the sky, and this just isn't stuff that he's going. He's like, I saw a fucking spaceship. I saw it. He had hours and hours and hours of videos, electronic surveillance of these things going in and out of this Dulce base. And the FBI did confirm, like, yeah, he had a bunch of videos and we don't know what the aircraft is that's flying in and out. So he definitely had something, but he reached out to Officer Gabe Valdez, and they performed, they got about 120 cattle together, and they
Cattle party.
yeah, come on in. And they forced a bunch, I don't know. It's a machine that makes the cattle go into like a single file line, a cattle despreader. I don't remember what the fuck it's called. Nonetheless, they get all these cattle to go through single file, and they put a UV light up above, and these cattle, all of them had like these weird prints and shapes all over their body of like this sparkling green slime or sparkling purple slime that was all over their entire bodies. That was like handprints and scratches, just all kinds of weird. It couldn't be accounted for. No one knew what it was, and no one knew exactly what it meant.
They went to a Kesha concert.
And I leave brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. I like Kesha.
I do too.
I'll get down with Kesha. I don't care.
I too. Cover me in glitter, baby.
This is in Dulce. It's located in New Mexico, and it's wholly home to around 3,000 earthly residents.
Oh, okay.
It is home to the headquarters belonging to the Jicarilla.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Apache Indian Reservation. Let's go with that. I don't know.
Sounds delightful.
And then when Dulce first started, it was known as Agua Dulce, which is Spanish for sweet water, which is Nicolicious for that's what comes out of my dick is fucking sweet water. Okay. Look that up.
It's true.
Take that to the bank. Say, I would like to make a deposit. And they would say, for how much? You say, for Nicolicious sweet fucking water that comes out of his dick, out of his penis glands.
Penis glands.
I'm here for the delicious Nicolicious penis glands. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Tell us you're here for Nicolicious penis glands. And next we have, I'm sorry, I'm a little sniffly this week.
You're.
Let me get one good one.
All right. That'll hold you over for a minute.
Paul Bennewitz, he was one of the main players in our story here. He was he worked at Thunder Scientific Instruments. He made stuff for NASA. He made different gauges and electronics for the military. They were a military contractor. The consensus was that this Paul Bennewitz guy was a genius. He had a lot of stuff going on. He not only had a very successful business, so successful and so trusted that his business, Thunder Scientific Instruments, it's still around to this day. It's ran by his sons. I'm sure they love having this hanging above their head, but it's still around to this day. And they would make all kinds of special gauges and special electronics for.
I was gonna say, did they make the calculators we had to use in math class?
Fuck them. I remember that would hit my mom and dad like a ton of bricks every year. You get to school, they're like markers, glue sticks, crayons, TI-83. Like, fucking God, what do I need one of those for? I'm like, Mom, I need it for Mafia Wars. I can play video games on that calculator.
Yeah, you could. I forgot about that.
I got a guy that can hook it up. I can play Frogger, and I got Pong on there. And
I forgot about that.
I got Mafia Wars.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. And I would just sit there and write boobs over and over and over again. Like
I just stole one from the school. I never bought one.
But like I said, the consensus was he was a raging genius. Okay. He had a lot bigger, he had a huge cock is what we're trying to say right now.
Good for him.
Huge brain.
Amen.
Some women like brains more than they like penises. Some women don't like penises at all. They like other women. Those are called lesbians.
Okay.
And then guys that like to have sex with guys and girls, those are bisexuals. But then guys that strictly like to fuck ass.
It's called Rob.
Corncob Rob.
Corncob Rob. Yeah.
Delicious Nicolicious. Come find us. brohiopodcast@gmail.com. He did live in the Albuquerque area. His company was so trusted that his house, the business, I should say, the Thundercats. Thundercats Incorporated. They were practically located on I'm sorry, I'm going to fuck this up. Kirtland Air Force Base. I keep on wanting to call it Kirkland. And I know we have people listening to the show that are currently stationed at Kirtland. They're going to write us like, hey, bro, why don't you try doing some fucking research? You think I research? I copy and paste this shit from other people's stuff. You know what I do.
And you still listen.
You still listen. Now, he was so trusted that his business was actually on the property of Kirtland Air Force Base. He was a scientist living on the base. His home was practically on the base as well. These mutilations I spoke about occurred in 1979, and he performed some field investigations, like I said, with the well-known New Mexico State Trooper Gabe Valdez. Bennewitz started to see an obnoxious amount of mysterious spacecraft that saturated the skies in the area of Kirtland Air Force Base in Manzano Mountains, which was also adjacent to the Manzano storage area, the country's largest underground nuclear storage facility, as well as the Coyote Canyon test range. Bennewitz started filming all of the strange crafts and various types of activity he was seeing in the area. Depending upon who you ask, he was definitely onto something. Was it what he thought it was, or did the government start to feed him horseshit to throw them off? The government told him, you're seeing unknown spacecrafts. You're not crazy, but it's best you shut the fuck up.
Makes sense.
So that's the crazy part for me, that this is confirmed through various outlets and various people that work for the government, that yes, he was seeing things. He was seeing spacecraft that could have potentially been the spacecraft the government was trying to hide. They were possibly testing UAVs and drones and whatnot. It's a test facility. So he could have been seeing things they didn't want him to see. And the fact that he was taking videos and he was publicly, there was a public display that he's saying, these things are coming through. There's weird spacecraft. The government's hiding something from us. And he was very forward about the fact that he was coming out with this information. So the government said, the FBI, the Black Ops said, whoa, guy, slow your roll. You were right. We cannot deny these videos you have right here. And the fact that they didn't just fucking kill him and take the videos in the first place.
Yeah, well, they definitely could have.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's normally what our government does. They're like, oh, we want that. Give me that shit. Kind of, what I would do with my wife. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, I want that shit. You call me Fruit Stripe because I'm about to be the best 30 seconds of your life, baby girl. Chew me up, spit me out.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Shit turns into paper after a second.
It does. Give me all the Fruit Stripe.
Nasty.
I love it all. So they said, you are definitely seeing things, but here's what you're seeing, man. You're seeing aliens. There's aliens coming in here. We got all kinds of crazy cyborg bots. Yeah, man. You're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. The story goes, they started pumping him full of misinformation and disinformation.
That's a lot. The same thing with, they do for Area 51 as well.
Yeah.
They'll use the existence or say the existence of aliens to cover up, what
it
secret,
really is.
like Black Ops air training. And
that's what and Paul Bennewitz is like, oh, fucking God, there's fucking aliens. There's aliens everywhere. So he's all amped up. He's like, I got fucking aliens. He's so excited because his entire life, he's been worried about these UFOs and aliens. He's dealing with Officer Gabe Valdez. There were people that were involved with abductions that had firsthand accounts of being taken underground at Dulce Base. They went to Paul Bennewitz to tell him about their story. So he had all this stuff on his mind, and then throw this pile of shit on top of it. The government says, yeah, you're right. You're on to us. We got some shit going on over here. But the links this story goes, there's no fucking end here. As we said before, Bennewitz was an electrical scientist. He started, and that was not his official title. He did a bunch of stuff, but mainly he dealt with electrical stuff for the government. He started using special devices to intercept radio transmissions and decipher these waves and transmissions.
He's just digging his hole deeper and deeper.
You hear that? You hear it? They're pooping in each other's mouths. I can hear it.
Wait, hang on. Let me decipher this. SENDNUDE. Send nudes.
Yeah. He said he was picking up hexadecimal codes, and he was able to break these codes down and translate them into the English language. So then at one point they're transmitting these messages, and he was able to start communicating with what he would find out was an alien race below the Dulce, the area there, the Dulce Mountains, or the whatever Mesa Mountains. But the Dulce Air Base is allegedly, 7 stories below ground, and he's able to transmit communications back and forth with these goddamn aliens.
Good for him.
Oh, God.
That's great. I like it.
And what the transmissions told him is there was a secret base 150 miles north of Albuquerque in the mountains. So he's getting all these radio transmissions at Kirtland Air Force Base. 150 miles north is Dulce. Bennewitz was provided with the exact coordinates of the alien base, which of course turned out to be Dulce. This didn't seem far-fetched for him because briefly before this time, he was investigating dozens of cases of cattle mutilations like we told you about earlier. All the evidence was presented to the Air Force. That's when the campaign to discredit him actually started. So he went to the government and said, I have all these videos, I have these radio transmissions, I have all this stuff. Here it is. Then the FBI or the Air Force, the Office of the Special Intelligence says,
smear campaign.
Yeah, you're right. Aliens everywhere. That's what you're seeing, buddy. He began to track the electronic frequencies that the extraterrestrials used to control individuals who had been abducted and implanted with miniature electronic devices. Bennewitz tracked down some of these individuals and conducted interviews on what they could remember of their ET encounters. Bennewitz eventually issued a report called Project Beta. Project Beta is readily available online. You can check it out. In this report, he says, this is what's happening. This is what they're doing, and this is how we can fucking kill them all. This is how we can eradicate the Earth of all these aliens. So he had a plan, dude. He was convinced of
guns a blazing.
I think it was like when they try to blow up the goddamn Death Star. There's some kind of vulnerability somewhere in there, and old fucking Paul Bennewitz says, I got it. I got where out back, these aliens, they shit just like us. They go out back to this outhouse because they don't have bathrooms in the Air Force Base down below. You got to get them. You got to get them while they're shitting because they poop. It's nasty. And you got to fucking whack them on the back of the head while they're pooping.
You ain't going to run away with a turd hanging out of your ass. It sounds like a good plan to me. Hang on. Let me pinch it off.
Oh!
I got on my leg.
Do you know there's people out there that don't poop every day?
That's wild.
How miserable is that?
I know. Like you need to get checked if you don't poop every day.
If you don't poop every day, write us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how truly miserable your life is, how you've got a divorce, how your uncle molested you as a child. Let us know how bad it is. I think this is common practice among women more so than men.
I would say so.
I know guys that poop 4 to 5 times a day. I don't do that.
That's the extreme too.
I go about once,
Yeah, twice on a good day.
Twice on a good day. If I eat some Rallies or some White Castle, I'm pooping twice. I'm coming down the Thunder Slide more than once that day.
No doubt.
It's going down for sure. Oh man. So we're speaking about Project Beta. He said in Project Beta, he summarized the evidence of his filming, photographing, electronic interception, and communications and field work. And this is taken directly from project beta itself. It says 1, 2 years of continuous recorded electronic surveillance and tracking with 24-hour data of aliens ships plus 6,000 feet motion picture of the same. 6,000 feet of motion picture.
All right.
2, detection and disassembly of alien communication and video channels. 3, constant reception of video from alien ship and underground base view screen, typical alien, humanoid, at times apparent Homo sapien. 4, a case history of an encounter victim in New Mexico, which led to the communications link and discovery that apparently all encounter victims have deliberate alien implants along with obvious accompanying scars. The victim's CAT scan, 5 other cases were verified. I don't even know why I put this shit in here. It's really fucking stupid. This is what he put in his project. And I read the beta files, the project beta. It's pretty fucking crazy, man. It's pretty out there. And he speaks in depth about abductees. And one abductee by the name of Mina Hansen. Under hypnosis, she claimed to have been abducted in 1980 along with her son, and they were taken inside the Dulce base. She proceeded to describe humans placed in cold storage and large vats filled with remains of cattle and human body parts.
Right where they belong.
Get in that goddamn bucket.
Get in that freezer.
Get in that pooper. These were the most controversial aspects of Bennewitz's activities, but combined with electronic interceptions, video recordings, and communications, he became convinced that they fit an overall pattern of ET deception, responsibility for cattle mutilations, and massive human rights violations of abducted civilians. And that's the biggest thing among the UFO community. There's an outcry here that there's a violation of human rights here. That these people are just like, they're held in buckets and vats. Like a fucking test tube baby just hanging there like a big fat turd.
They're just chilling in cold storage.
Jesus.
Open the door. It's colder than shit in here.
Hey, come here, partner. You think you could start a fire for me real quick?
Hey, gotta piss. Just piss on my leg or I'm losing feeling.
Get that ice pick over there. I need to get my nutsack off my legs real quick. My ball sack.
Man, that would be the worst.
Like when the dog gets his nuts frozen to the porch in Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
What's wrong, boy? Now, further decoding these messages, Bennewitz was discovering that humans by the thousands, yes, by the thousands, were being held captive down below Dulce, New Mexico. In an official report signed by Major Thomas Sesh, C-S-E-H, Sesh. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. On October 28, 1980, and later released under the Freedom of Information Act, Major Sesha wrote, on 26th October 1980, Special Agent Doty, with the assistance of Jerry Miller, GS-15, Chief Scientific Advisor for Air Force Test and Evaluation Center, KFFB, interviewed Dr. Bennewitz at his home in the Four Hills section of Albuquerque, which is adjacent to the northern boundary of Manzano Base. Dr. Bennewitz has been conducting independent research into aerial phenomena for the last 15 months. Dr. Bennewitz also produced several electronic recording tapes allegedly showing high periods of electrical magnetism being emitted from Manzano/Coyote Canyon area. Dr. Bennewitz also produced several photographs of flying objects taken over the general Albuquerque area. He has several pieces of electronic surveillance equipment pointed at Manzano and is attempting to record high-frequency electrical beam pulses. Dr. Bennewitz claims these aerial objects produce these pulses. After analyzing the data collected by Dr. Bennewitz, Mr. Miller related the evidence clearly shows that some type of unidentified aerial objects were caught on film. However, no conclusions could be made whether these pose a threat to Manzano, Coyote Canyon areas. So that's the Freedom of Information Act. This is taken directly from the government. So they're saying, yeah, we talked to this guy. Yeah, he has shit. We don't know what the fuck it is. I don't like covering hokey alien stuff.
Right.
I don't like, there's so many alien stories we could have done by now. But I'm like, there's nothing to back it up. Like, so I got picked up by aliens. They shoved their fingers so far up my fucking asshole that when I brushed my teeth, I was picking out their fingernails. Okay. So you might have, but you probably didn't. You probably took some drugs and drank one of those shrink wrap cases of Bud Ice you get at the store right now. You get a big old three tall boys of Bud Ice. They're all saran wrapped shut. They're at Walmart for like $4. Probably drink a case of those.
Hung out with your friend Jerry, who's a little slut.
Jerry from the Hillbilly Horror Stories fucked you in the ass. Yeah. Got up in you, you know?
He's just wearing an alien mask.
But then I stumble on these stories right here, where you can physically go into the government's files and open it up and say, okay, the government responded to this, and the government said, we don't know, case closed. That doesn't sit with me. That's not fair. I want to know. I need to know. They knew. Dr. Bennewitz knew there was something going on. They knew enough that they investigated it to say, yeah, there is something, but we just don't know what it is. So Bennewitz, he did end up talking to the new Mexico Senator, Harry Schmidt.
My dad.
Old Harry Schmidt.
So that's where I get it from.
And then old Harry Schmidt, he looks at all the evidence and he looks at what the government presented after the investigation. And old Harry Schmidt says, why ain't we doing nothing about this shit? We got fucking aliens in New Mexico and ain't nobody want to do a goddamn thing about it. He was up in arms about it. You have fucking senators, FBI agents, Air Force special intelligence officers. All these people know about this stuff and they see it. But Paul Bennewitz is a crazy fucker.
Just let them go about their business.
Is let the aliens do what the aliens are going to do.
I do want to make a mention, though, that every time you say Coyote Canyon, I immediately think of like an old cheesy 80s movie where like you're following the good guy around. And then like there's a challenge at the very end where the bad guys challenge them to race on like bicycles down Coyote Canyon.
Meet us high noon, Coyote Canyon. Be there or be queer.
It's just like a big like downhill obstacle course.
After we turn the camera off, I'll show you Coyote Canyon if you want to see it.
Yeah, buddy.
It involves me bending over at the waist and spread my butt cheeks with a fucking cheese grater. That's Coyote Canyon.
Oh God.
I saw a picture today and it was a toilet paper roll made of a cheese grater. And it was the most awful looking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
My butthole.
So we're going to dig a little deeper into the I guess, the effort by the government to discredit Paul Bennewitz at this point.
Dig, baby.
At this point, Bennewitz started to turn enough heads that the Air Force Office of Special Intelligence started making power moves to discredit Bennewitz. At the 1989 Mutual UFO Network Conference, a UFO specialist by the name of William Moore ruffled some feathers. He said that in 1982, he was brought on by the government to begin passing information about Bennewitz's activities to the Air Force Office of Special Intelligence, where they were also instructing him on what information that would go to Bennewitz. So like the name I said before, William Moore, he was a huge pundit and a huge expert in the UFO alien community. So much so that Bennewitz confided in him. He said, this is the stuff I have. The government knew that Bennewitz confided in Moore. So the government essentially hired Moore and they said, tell us everything he tells you. And you also need to tell him all the things that we tell you to tell him.
What a fucking narc.
Exactly. You piece of shit.
He trusted you.
This is a quote from William Moore himself. He says, when I first ran into the disinformation operation being run on Bennewitz, it seemed to me I was in a rather unique position. There I was with my foot in the door of a secret counterintelligence game that gave every appearance of being somehow directly connected to a high-level government UFO project. And, judging by the positions of the people I knew to be directly involved with it, definitely had something to do with national security. There was no way I was going to allow the opportunity to pass me by without learning at least something about what was going on. I would play the disinformation game, get my hands dirty just often enough to lead those directing the process into believing that I was doing exactly what they wanted me to do, and all the while continue to burrow my way into the matrix so as to learn as much as possible about who was directing it and why. Jesus Christ. All right, so this William Moore guy, he says the Dulce base, so Bennewitz was learning that the Dulce base was used as a site where humans were abducted for genetic experiments, placed in cold storage, and even used as a food source for the ETs. Ugh. This was actually disinformation rather than accurate reports of the nature of the ET presence in northern New Mexico area. In 1985, Paul Bennewitz had a major psychological and manic fucking breakdown, and he stopped all of his investigations in reference to the occurrences and what was going on at Dulce Base. And it was at that time that he left the public eye completely. When we set out to do this episode, Rob wrote me. He said, "Dude,
I hadn't read the whole story yet.
Should fucking interview Paul Bennewitz."
He's like, God, he's been dead, buddy.
He died about 19 years ago.
We should still do it.
Grave site, motherfucker. Let's go. We're gonna fucking do this.
I hadn't gotten that far in the story yet.
Oh, yeah. Now, after he left the public eye in 1987, the Dulce Papers were released. The title of these papers was the Dulce Papers. They were released by a senior security officer that worked at Dulce Air Base. This was a release of 30 photos, videos, and a set of papers to UFO researchers that were apparently physical evidence of a joint U.S. government / extraterrestrial base 2 miles beneath the Archuleta Mesa near the town of Dulce, New Mexico. So this isn't related to Paul Bennewitz. This is another guy that's advising everyone. He was the head security officer for the base itself. And he goes on to share his story, and he had a lot of responsibility and a lot of clout at this base. The Dulce Papers describe genetic experimentation, development of human extraterrestrial hybrids, use of mind control through advanced computers, cold storage of humans in liquid-filled vats, and even the use of human body parts as a nutritional source for the ET races. The paper provided possible evidence that humans were used as a little more than laboratory animals by ET races, working directly with different U.S. government agencies and U.S. corporations fulfilling black budget military contracts in a joint base. God damn. Whew. If the papers were genuine, experiments and projects were being conducted that involved human rights violations on a scale that exceeded even the darkest chapters of recent human history. There's one report that says they would suspend the people in these giant vats, like almost like a dunk tank with a window on it, just like you would see in the movies.
Right.
And there's one security officer named Carl that was in charge of these areas where the people were suspended in the tanks. And sometimes these people, the sedatives would wear off. They would start to try and fight out of the tanks. And Carl would go to the top of the tanks and he would shit in their water.
God damn it, Carl.
He'd say, you're settled down there swishing around your water. I'll fuck that water up. You don't quit rolling around like a goddamn crocodile.
Let me give you one of my butt brownies.
How about I shit in your water? You like that? You breathe in my peanuts, man, out of Snickers.
Then they're just begging to go back under the water.
Rich Dugan.
Please, God.
Why do they always got to float?
Let me go back down to the water. Get a corn kernel stuck in my nose.
There was no security guard named Carl.
Man, I was really hanging on to that story, too.
I know. I saw you eating it up.
I was like, all right.
I didn't know what I was going to say either. They pooped in the water.
Fucking Carl.
God damn it, Carl. We went past WP 45-6B. Check out that subject. There was a big old water turd in there. It's like a floating around. Looked like a piece of driftwood in there, Carl.
For him to just be able to control his poops like that, I hope he's getting paid at least 6 figures.
And when I envision this story, I picture a guy like pooping, and it's not solid poop. It just sprays out like someone drop kick a water balloon full of fucking chocolate milk.
I pictured as Carl Winslow.
I know, me too. Old sneaky Carl Winslow shit. No wonder Urkel was always over there. Those fucking hypnotic turds that Carl Winslow would put in the...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is going off the rails real quick.
There's been a lot of poop talk in this episode.
Yeah. The organizer of this... of the release of the Dulce Papers was a former senior security officer at the base by the name of Thomas Costello. He quit after a fucking alien firefight.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Thomas Costello eventually vanished, and many sources say he was found dead from suicide.
Okay.
How fitting.
Of course, yeah.
Thomas Costello was a photo security specialist with the Ultra 7 security clearance. Costello went on to say there was a 7-level underground facility housing humans and different ET races. There were 4 extraterrestrial races he claimed worked at the Dulce. So they're talking, and this is where it gets, in the report, he names all of these different alien races and what their jobs were on the base. So they all had different jobs. They all did different shit. Work. There's like, and it says there were short grays from the Zeta Reticulum. They were approximately 4 feet in height. Tall grays from Wriggle Orion. They were 7 foot tall, and reptilian species, either native to Earth or from the Draco star system in Orion, ranging from 6 to 8 feet tall. Costello, and I just picture like there's like turf battles between these aliens. Like, Orion's belt south side, stand up, represent, motherfucker. And then you got the other guy in the corner like, I'm Big Dick Daddy Pussy Destroyer from the Big Dipper. Stand back before I bust a laser up in your ass. They're just going back at like, like Bloods and Crips and prisons and shit. Orion's belt south side, stand up, motherfucker, represent, stand down. Go up them colors. Don't wear your colors in my galaxy ever again.
God, I hope that really happened. Just like that.
I'm the Big Dick Pussy Ripper from the Big Dipper.
They wore capes that just had huge cocks on them. Just the thought of a 6 foot tall alien wearing a cape with a dick on it. It's glorious.
We put wieners on our capes because we don't have dicks. We asked the guy from Stardust Ranch, like, what's their dicks look like? He's like, oh, no, I cut those off too. All right, man, fucking rock on.
Oh, man. Whew.
Keep on rocking in the free world. Costello claimed that the different projects at Dulce involved reverse engineering of ET technology,
naturally,
development of mind control methods, and genetic experiments involving cloning and creating human ET hybrids.
Okay.
He said the aliens all hung out in levels 5 between 7. That was there was a large cavern system down there. The reptilian aliens did all the cleaning and whatnot, so they all had different jobs. All the reptilian aliens, they did the cleaning, they did they served the food and stuff. So
you think they'd make the really small ones do the cleaning and shit? Like they'd be doing the bitch work.
It all depends, man. There's like chihuahuas that'll fuck you up, and there's Saint Bernards they'll just lay in your lap and lick your balls until the peanut butter falls off. They're different,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right. The Draco alien race were the king dinglings down there. And if you had to go through and pick, and someone would say, Which one of these aliens do you think would be the bad motherfucker? I'd be like the Draco aliens.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Level 6, there was several trans-species genetic experiments. Humans were the lowest form of, they were like lower than low. They were lower than lab rats in these testing facilities. Then there was level 7, which was far worse than anything. It was called Nightmare Hall. There was row after row of thousands upon thousands of humans and human mixtures in cold storage. Here, too, are embryo storage vats of humanoids in various stages of development. This is where Carl would climb on top of the tank and take a big greasy shit. And he goes on to say, I frequently encountered humans in cages, usually dazed or drugged, but sometimes they cried and begged for help. During his initial briefing, they were trying to sell the place as a facility. So when he was going in through the interview process, they say, God, this place is different. We're going to pay you a lot of money, but this place is fucking different, okay? These people, we're trying to cure them. They're suffering from insanity. So we're trying to make them better. And that's the way it was pitched to him during the job interview. He said, this is a facility where we're trying to cure insanity. He's like, oh, fuck it.
That's a wild pitch.
Does it have good insurance and weekends off?
Amen, brother.
I'll do anything for weekends off, dude.
So I'm screaming.
He said, and this is also a quote from the security officer. He says, I'm sensible when doctors say don't speak to them. Who was I to destroy the delicate situation? But one man somehow caught my eye. He repeatedly stated that he was George S. and that he had been kidnapped and he was sure someone was searching for him. I don't know why he sticks in my mind. I found I was remembering his face, thinking he sure didn't look or sound insane, but many inmates said that. The next weekend, I convinced a friend of mine, a cop, to run a check on the guy, saying I had run in with him and was curious. I didn't mention the base at all. It was a sickening feeling when the computer confirmed that George S. was indeed missing.
Oh, man.
From one of the local towns there. So there was, at this point, there were other people that worked in the facility there. They started to organize and orchestrate a large secret meeting in one of the tunnels there. They got together and they all presented evidence to Thomas Costello. He was the head security officer. These people called this meeting and they said, look, we have files. These people that we're holding captive are missing subjects from the real world. And Thomas Costello already has this in the back of his mind because this, what's his name? George S. He's already, talked to this guy and he figures out that he is fucking missing. He's missing from the real world. So that on top of what all of these people are telling him, as far as all of these people are just missing people from the real world, he's like, okay, something has to be done here. And after leaving that meeting, he decided with the other people that they would indeed expose the Dulce base. It says, ultimately, it ended when a military assault was initiated via the exit tunnels, and they executed anybody on their list, human or reptilian. We fought back, but none of the working cast had weapons. And the working cast were the people that kind of, bumped and ran around down below. This included aliens, I do believe, but also includes the employees of the base itself. So
can you just imagine just hanging around, just having like lunch with an alien?
And he said that there was a mutual admiration and respect by one of the certain races, that the aliens had compassion. So there was a lot of interbreeding going on down there. So it's not crazy to think about. There were some aliens down there that had some alien, catching feelings, I guess.
Would you fuck an alien?
Yeah, right now. I would sit at my lap and I would bend its legs all the way back, all the way up my shoulders. And I would just
jackhammer it.
I would wear it like a condom, a little alien condom with eyes on top of it. Just try and break its hips.
I think I'd try to do the same thing.
Yeah. What's the first thing that breaks when you give it to an alien?
I don't know.
Their hips.
Okay. I want to fuck like a gelatinous alien.
I don't know what I want to fuck.
That way, so as I'm thrusting, I can feel it like it's like flubber wrap around me.
That would be so much fun.
It would, like fucking a waterbed.
What if it would be nothing like, the way we do sex? They don't do it like that. Like, you're like, I'm gonna fuck that alien. You just lean in and start making out with it. It just fucking bites your face off.
Or it's just like mind sex.
Yeah. It just sits down Indian style and starts staring at you, and you feel your balls getting licked. You're like, I don't know if I like this or not. And you just keep holding on. The alien keeps staring at you. And you start getting a little hand job, but no one's touching. You're like, yeah, I like this a lot. Ain't nothing better than a good old slimy hand job.
It's like a long, like, anteater tongue comes out of where its crotch would been. Just swoops down there and just gathers it all up.
It goes in your butthole and comes out the tip of your wiener and starts licking you on the mouth. What are we doing right now?
Thank you.
Yeah. I like this. Like a dog licking me like a puppy licking me on the mouth. He said, we fought back, but none of the working cast had weapons, nor did the human lab workers. Only the security force and a few computer workers had flash guns. Okay. It was a massacre. Everyone was screaming and running for cover. The halls and tunnels were filled as full as possible. We believe it was the Delta Force because of their uniforms and the method they used.
Always the Delta Force.
Always the Delta Force. That chose to hit us at shift change, an effort that killed as many as named on their list. After that skirmish with the government, the military, Thomas Costello quit. There was when he quit, then I read this and I didn't write it down right before we came down here.
Okay.
It says that he took and made 5 or 6 different copies of all of the evidence he had, the pictures, the videos, because he took like videos from the Central Command Center. He had all these different videos and pictures, and he gave them to several different subjects around the world. The only people that knows who has these is Thomas Costello and the people that have them themselves.
Good.
And he said, if you don't hear from me for 3 consecutive series of 6 months, then you release these to the world or do whatever you want with them. But at that point, if you don't hear from me from 3 consecutive series of 6 months, I'm gone. And it's at that point now where these people haven't heard from him.
So like 18 months in total, right?
Right.
6 total, yeah.
and no one knows where he's at. It's said that he was found, he'd killed himself. But the next guy,
Yes, he shot himself 14 times in the head, right?
yeah, Hillary Clinton did it for him.
Right.
And the fun doesn't end here as well. So this firefight we speak of
Mhm.
kind of correlates with a geologist, I don't know, he's like a rock fucking scientist. I don't know what he was.
Geologist.
He was a geologist. I should have known that.
Okay.
Whatever.
It's all right.
Geologists rock anyway. So
Hey.
it's fucking, it is what it
Puns,
is.
gotta love it.
This guy, his name's Philip Schneider.
Schneider.
And he's another one that is completely just dealing with some shit from this Dulce base, man. And I've said it 1,000 times before, and people make fun of me for it sometimes, but where there's smoke, there's fire. There was a lot of people with firsthand accounts from this place. There was a lot of government officials that had, that said, we don't know what's going on. So that leads me to believe that something was going on, man. I don't know if it's exactly something on this crazy fucking scale right here. I don't know if Carl Winslow was climbing up on top of the vats and taking shit in the water. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what was happening, Rob Dog.
I never said you did, man.
Of all the stupid fucking episodes we've done, this is probably the one that's going to get us slaughtered.
Well, just okay.
Tomorrow at 2:15. I didn't order anything off of Amazon.
Good thing I'm usually not home by 2:50.
They shoot me with a taser in the dick. And then I come.
But you didn't expect that to happen.
I bet you didn't think I'd come on you, did you? You liked it. You liked when I cummed on you, didn't you? I've been doing this experiment with my wife all this week. So, you ever do dirty talk in bed? Like, just tell her she's a slut and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
So, for about a week now, anytime I do dirty talk, I call the nasty words by kid names.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, I'm going to put my pee-pee inside you. Can't wait to get my mouth all over your hoo-ha later on.
She's totally into it, isn't she?
No, she's not down with it at all. I want to fuck your butthole. She didn't like that one either.
Let me fuck your poop circle.
Because kids, they call it a butthole. That's just what they call it. It doesn't get much dirtier than that.
I'm gonna fuck your butthole.
I want to lick on your nipples. Not tits, nipples.
Oh
I
shit!
want to suck on your nipples.
Hey, let me grab Barb's head back there. She needs to join.
Yeah. Barb from Stranger Things. Yeah, kids broke her.
Damn, she's really broke.
Yeah. Well, Philip Schneider, okay, one of the most notable names in Dulce Air Force Base stories, allegedly worked as a geological engineer contracting for the government in its construction of a program known as DUM. Yeah, I did. All right, that's not a typo. Deep underground military bases.
The best acronym ever.
Let me get up inside your DUM, baby. Let me dump some cum in you.
Getting that dumb.
Let me dump some cum in your thumb.
Oh God, that sounds so dirty.
It is dirty. According to Schneider, the system of bases spans the continental U.S. with over 100 interconnected subterranean tunnels. So this Philip Schneider guy, he's one of the project leaders on all of these various underground bases. So you got Area 51, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dulce Base, you got NORAD, all this stuff that's under mountains and underground. This guy is the geological expert as far as building these things underground. So in the construction phases, he goes to these places and he says what kind of rock it is, what's going on underground, and what needs to happen to structurally support an underground testing base. Philip Schneider had 17 years experience working in the government black ops carrying a level. I'm sorry. I completely fucked up my notes right there. He had 17 years experience working in government black projects carrying a level 3 security clearance, or Rhyolite 38. That's my security clearance right now, is a Rhyolite 38.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. He was formerly a government geologist and engineer. He worked in the black projects underground bases at Area 51, S4, and Los Alamos. He specialized in shape charges to build things underground. So he would, help set the explosives up to make sure they detonated in the perfect form to
he made boom boom.
He made boom boom. Yeah.
There you go.
Just like Right.
Just like Carl.
Just like Carl. Now, he claims that there's 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States of America, all connected by a tunnel system.
I believe that.
And I've heard this before, though.
Yep.
And right outside Dayton, Ohio, in Miamisburg, is Mound Laboratories, which is a nuclear research facility. And then a half an hour from there is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I know those motherfuckers got aliens.
Fuck yeah.
I know they got aliens.
They have to.
And these people from the Mound Laboratories talk about this underground tunnel system, which goes hand in hand with what we're talking about right here. In 1979, the same year all these cattle mutilations and shit are going on, the U.S. Armed Forces started building an expansion to Dulce. And the research that I came across says they didn't know that there was an alien research facility down below when they were building it. The people that were building it didn't know it.
Right.
But the people that were building it knew what was down there, and they were adding an expansion unit on top of or next to the base that was down below. One of the lead design engineers, Philip Schneider, noticed that something seemed a little bit off about this operation. Sure, there was a secret and covert operations, but they were just, this was to him was just a basic construction. So they had teams of Green Berets and Black Berets there that were present during the entire construction phase of everything that they were doing. So they have all these special forces teams surrounding them while they're doing all their testing to see what they're going to build below ground. So right off Jump Street, he's like, Well, Phil Schneider's like, I don't think this is right. Something weird is going on here.
It would definitely seem like there's something more going on.
Now, Schneider's dad was a Nazi scientist during World War II. He was brought to America via the Secret Service, and we do know from our prior research
Yeah, we do.
During World War II, all of the very gifted German scientists
Project Paperclip
snatched up, and they were brought over here by the U.S. government. His father was involved in the development of the atomic bomb. The Illuminati conspiracy goes and states that the kids of these scientists were all given very cushy government jobs whenever they become of age. So this would kind of fall in line with kind of a cushy government job. You know, get paid six figures to check out some rocks and work on some underground bases. He's got the...
You sign me up.
Yeah.
I'll do it for 5 figures. I'll undercut him.
Yeah, all right. You do it, buddy. Now, while drilling underground, they put a shaft in the ground. A huge dick. A huge cock. No, they put a shaft in the ground and found a very elaborate cavern system. Now, when they made the holes to go into the ground, all this black sooty air come up. This is a quote from Phil Schneider. He said, all the black sooty air came up when we drilled the holes there. This cavern system was inhabited by 7-foot-tall alien greys that our subject, Phil Schneider, had come face to face with. So we have Paul Bennewitz, who, saw all this alien spacecraft going in and out. He, the government made him go away. Then you have Thomas Costello, the security guard that talked about all of the happenings that occurred in this underground base. Now you have a third fellow, completely unrelated, that comes around the same exact time, and these people are all releasing their stories after the fact. He comes along afterwards and gives this testimony, which kind of goes hand in hand with all this other shit. He says, quote, the stench, this is, I don't know what Phil Schneider would sound like, but this is probably it.
The stench was worse than the worst garbage can. The entity was absolutely horrible,
he said. Schneider fumbled for a pistol, and he's fucking in a goddamn shark cage getting lowered down a tunnel to check out the rocks. He's going down thinking, I got to find out what kind of stagmites and stalagmites are down here so we can build this motherfucker. He's going down, and he comes across 7-foot-tall aliens that I've already told you guys all about. They have all kinds of research facilities down there. They got Carl shit in a tank. They've got people. They got cold storage. They got aliens mopping the floors. They got all kinds of weird stuff going on down there.
I just want to see an alien in a janitor uniform.
Yeah, I do. How you doing, Hank? Living the dream.
Just pushing a mop bucket around.
Carl shit on the floor again. He missed the tank upstairs.
Just walking, there's one cleaning the toilet.
Carl fucking Winslow. Schneider, at this point, he sees the aliens. He fumbles for a pistol he was carrying. He killed 2 of the beings.
Oh my God.
He shot 2 aliens.
Way to go.
Shot him right in the fucking head. Probably goddamn 50 cal. He's going elephant hunting. I don't know what he was carrying. He killed 2 of these aliens, but not before one of them could emit a strange and harmful energy. According to Phil Schneider, the alien made a circular waving motion in front of his chest, like a fucking wizard working up a fireball.
Like Goku.
Schneider did a similar motion.
He did it back.
Yeah, he did it. Oh, yeah. You like that? I can make a fucking fireball, too. This is from his own testimony. This alien's like, starts working up a fireball. And Phil Schneider's like, oh, yeah, motherfucker.
He starts rubbing his sack.
Got one for you. He just holds his wiener, starts smacking the top of it like he's trying to fucking smack a weasel's head off. He's making a fireball. He's getting ready to launch it. He's
God.
Phil Schneider's like, you fire first and you're going to get this fireball right here.
He has a gun and he's just making an imaginary fireball.
This isn't a fireball. This is a poop ball. You never been hit by a Phil Schneider poop ball. You can read about it. West Jeff High, 2000, class 1971. Learn about my poop balls, you piece of shit. I have no idea what's going on here. But according to Phil Schneider, he made a circular waving motion in front of his chest.
Why would he do this?
Schneider did a similar motion and mimicked what the alien was doing. I can't even read
that is so funny.
Oh, God. And obviously, the alien struck first by discharging it wasn't a fireball. It was a blue beam that burned up Phil and cut off a couple of his fingers.
Oh, God.
You like them fingers? How about I blow them off, dipshit?
It just struck him with a severe case of diabetes.
Yeah, Phil's like, fuck. Fuck.
If I wouldn't have been making that fireball in front of me, I probably would have shot in the hand.
That was my wife's favorite finger.
Oh, God. The fireball, it hit his chest and burned his chest off as well, but the best part is it burned off his toenails.
Hey, you don't need them anyways.
I know you think you messed me up, but you really did me a favor. That thing's been ingrown for about 7 months. It's been killing me. I whacked it the other day. I got about 3 gallons of pus that came out of it.
It knocked his toenails off, dude.
Oh, man.
You ever come so hard your toenails pop off?
No. Oh, shit.
Have you ever cummed in another guy before? That's weird. Oh, God.
Next.
This is Schneider's very own words. He says, I was involved in building an addition to the deep underground military base at Dulce, which is probably the deepest base. It goes down 7 levels and over 2.5 miles deep. At that particular time, we had drilled 4 distinct holes in the desert, and we were going to link them together and blow out large sections at a time. My job was to go down the holes and check the rock samples and recommend the explosive to deal with the particular rock. As I was headed down there, we found ourselves amidst a large cavern that was full of outer space aliens, otherwise known as large grays. I shot 2 of them. At that time, there were 30 people down there. About 40 more came down after this started, and all of them got killed. We had surprised a whole underground base of existing aliens. Later, we found out that they had been living on or in our planet for a long time. This could explain a lot of what is behind the theory of ancient astronauts. According to Schneider, 60 government officials lost their lives that day during the firefight. The only survivors were Schneider and 2 other guys. And according to Schneider, these other 2 guys are in Canadian nursing homes, and no Americans are allowed to have any access to them at all.
Wow.
All right, we know you're fucked up, but you're getting free health care for life, motherfucker. Heading to Canada. Schneider credits a Green Beret that threw his own body on top of Schneider, shielding him from the ongoing firefight. The Green Beret ultimately lost his life during this selfless act. Shit, man. This is fucking heavy shit.
He started a firefight. They got fucking all these people killed.
Hey, guys, if you pretend to make a fireball in front of you, they'll stop. Watch this.
Dude, that's the ultimate visual. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that too.
You like that?
And the alien's just like, nah, Suck on that.
Say goodbye to your toenails.
Oh, man. Snyder gave a keynote lecture at MUFON conference in May 1995. And so he had been coming forward with all these stories. He'd been doing the UFO circuit, giving the same story over and over. He was a keynote speaker at all these places. But through all this, the one thing that he always said, he said, for me coming out with this information, they're going to get me. If I ever commit suicide, I want all of you to know. And he said this over and over and over. He said this to his wife. He said this to all these people at these different places that he gave these speeches. He says, if I'm ever found dead from suicide, I want you to know that I was murdered. I will not take my own life. And as sure as shit as I can look you in the eye right now and tell you I'm not going to take my life, I'm not going to take my life, Rob. I think suicide is a very sad thing.
Mm-hmm.
To battle that demon, I would feel like would be a very long, draining battle. I just don't think you walk into the living room and say,
fuck this.
Yeah, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't think it works like that. I think it's a long, slow grind, torturing grind to get to that point.
I agree.
And if you are someone that's suffering from that, there's all kinds of outlets out there that can help you with that. We encourage you to get help because we love you. Love having you as a listener, and we'll do anything for you. But back to the story. For him to say, if I kill myself, I want you to know it was not an act. It was not an accident.
Self-inflicted.
Right. I was killed by somebody else. I will not kill myself. So he gave the keynote lecture at MUFON conference in May 1995, and he was found dead in his apartment 7 months later in January of 1996. He'd strangled himself with a fucking catheter wire.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No. When you kill yourself, you hang yourself, you shoot yourself, you lob a fucking toaster into the bath.
Yeah, that seems like a weapon of opportunity, not something that someone would do like willingly. Like if you're going to hang yourself, you're going to think you're going to hang yourself with a rope, with a sheet, not something that you could just find lying around.
Right. And I think in my mind, the way this plays out, they go into the apartment, they kill him.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, Donnie, man, you got the gun? And Donnie says, I didn't bring the fucking gun. Did you bring the fucking gun? I didn't bring the fucking gun. What are we going to do? We got this catheter wire right here. Let's wrap this catheter wire around his neck. It looks dead like he killed himself with a catheter wire. Let's get the fuck out of here. Someone didn't call the cleaner, okay? Someone did not call a good hitman guy. They did do the job. They killed him, but they didn't do a very good job of making it look like a suicide. And he said, if I'm ever dead, I didn't kill myself. I was murdered. And he had a lot of, Phil Schneider had a lot to say about what was going on here. Obviously, he was one of the main players that came forward in all of this. According to Phil Schneider, funds used for the construction of the underground bases in the U.S. and elsewhere come from a black budget, money that is not part of the normal congressional appropriations and supplemental processes that fund government agencies in the U.S. In his 1995 lecture, Schneider declared the black budget is a secretive budget that garners 25% of the gross national product of the United States. The black budget currently consumes $1.25 trillion per year. At least this amount is used in black programs like those concerned with deep underground military bases. Presently, there are 129 underground military bases in the United States of America. Yeah, that, my friends, is the Dulce Underground Nightmare Hall alien testing facility.
No wonder why we're trillions of dollars in debt.
It's going to be huge. We're going to North Korea. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to kick it with Kim Jong-un. It's going to be huge. I saw a picture of Donald Trump today. He was eating a Big Mac.
Good for him. I know he loves McDonald's.
Someone left us a comment on YouTube that said, 12 minutes in. They tearing us up because we were talking about the wall or something. I don't know who's building the wall, who doesn't want the wall built. The only wall I fucking build is when I put the toilet paper between my hand and my fucking asshole and I wipe my ass. This person's like, don't spread misinformation about the wall. And I fucking hate
We're not
YouTube.
spreading any information about anything.
We don't know.
We don't care.
We don't know. We don't fucking care.
We don't give a shit.
I want.
And we've said this numerous amount of times. Unless something physically affects what goes on within the walls of our house, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I'll get drunk and piss on the wall.
Right.
Then I'll get drunk and piss on your mom. Take it to the bank.
I'll build a catapult to launch people over the wall. I don't fucking care.
Roman Reigns, cancer
Roman
free.
Reigns, hey, amen.
Fuck it. Ronda Rousey, they're turning her bad. She's gonna be a bad guy now.
Yeah.
But
She's horrible anyways.
Yeah. I don't think she's that bad, but whatever. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What a fun episode.
It was fun.
Did you feel like you learned something?
A lot of somethings.
Is this crazy or what, man?
It's wild shit.
I hate doing stuff like this. And at the end of it, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
The fucking fireball though.
Fucking Carl.
I can do that too.
Old fucking Carl stomping around on third shift, dropping brownie batter in the tanks up there. And I feed them like fish. Here's some goldfish flakes for you.
Just pooping out nuggets. Little round pellet turds. That was a good one.
Now, a few months ago, we said, if you have a project, if you're an artist, if you're a designer, you're this, you're that, you're a musician, send us your shit and we'll plug it.
That's what's up.
We'll plug the fuck out of you.
We'll plug it.
We got our fellas from Black Coast, UK. If you look up Black Coast in the US, you're going to get some fucking melodramatic idiots from New York to play piano and techno music. If you look Black Coast, UK, you're going to get these fucking guys.
All right.
And I've been holding this back from you all week long.
You have.
Not that I've been holding it back. I just forgot to tell you about it.
All right.
But this is Black Coast UK. They got a Facebook page. Just go to Google, type in Black Coast UK. You can pull up their music. And I'm going to play you one of their songs right now.
Okay.
I have no idea what the name of the song is because they it sent us about 4 or 5 of them. And I had a hard time picking out which one I wanted to do. I think this one's called Diablo, or I don't know. They titled the email, "Hey buttfuckers." Yeah. The song's called Diablo.
Okay.
And this is from Black Coast
UK.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.